If, as you start to practice the skill of listening with empathy, it feels very wooden or unnatural or forced to you, wouldn't it be better to go back to a style of listening that feels more comfortable and maybe more natural? Hi everybody, this is Greg from Heart Tools, where we make it simple to build great relationships. And in our last video, we started practicing the skill of listening with empathy. And I wanted to do a video on the importance of practicing, because this is the skill that can feel most awkward and unnatural for people often as they go through these skill sets. And because of that, it's one where they're most likely to give up, even though it is the single most important skill in building great, healthy relationships. Some of you may have had the experience where you're learning to play the guitar. And one of the first things that you learn how to do when you're playing guitar is you learn how to put your fingers in a certain way to play a chord. And it feels very unnatural at first. It feels very wooden and forced, right? I don't think there's been anybody in the history of the world who's practiced playing the guitar, and the first time, they practiced that chord, thought, oh my goodness, this is what my hand does all the time. I was born to play the guitar, right? No. You have to practice that over and over and over and over again, and pretty soon you develop muscle memory, and you can do it without even thinking about it. Something feeling natural does not mean that you're doing it in an effective way. Something feeling natural only means that you have done it over and over and over again, and that's just the way you can do it without thinking about it. Something feeling unnatural doesn't mean it's not an effective way to do it. It only means you haven't practiced it enough that you can do it without thinking about it. So what I want to encourage you to do as you practice listening with empathy is just give yourself permission to be practicing. None of us would think about going into our son or daughter's room when they're, just learning to play the guitar and say, you're not really playing the guitar, you're just practicing chords, right? That would be unthinkable. Well, of course they're practicing. That's how you get good at something. And let me mention a red flag here as we're talking about reflective listening. One of the things that we want you to be able to do as you practice these skill sets and get better at building relationships is we want to help you develop your people picker. What you'll do is you will notice when other people don't love well, don't use these skills well, and don't want to. And what I've noticed over the years is that a lot of people use words to communicate and to connect. But there are also some people who use words to manipulate and control. The first group that want to communicate and connect, they will love it as you practice this skill, because they will love the fact that you're trying to really understand them more. The second group won't like it at all, and they may say some things like, don't use that technique on me, stop handling me, right? Because they don't want conversation to become clear, because it's harder to manipulate and control when communication is clear. Now, you won't find many people who say that, but you will find some, and those are the people that you really want to avoid being in relationship with. So, practice, continue practicing this. It might feel unnatural to you for a while. It just means you haven't done it often enough that you can do it without thinking about it. But I promise you, it will get to the point where when someone is sharing something important to them, it's just the only way that you listen, because it feels so natural, and because once it becomes natural, it is very effective at connecting with the people that you love. So keep practicing. Simple steps. Practice, practice, practice. That's what Heart Tools is all about.